Hello and welcome back. It's Wednesday of week 13 and we're back with more news and entertainment.
Today we will be discussing changes to postgraduate funding which will allow students beginning their course in 2016 access up to £10,000.
We will also be joined by Anna Lee to discuss the new campaign I Won't Stand For It in regards to ending discrimination and sexual harassment in Lancaster.
Stay tuned for Good Morning Lancaster.
I'm Siri Hamperpaw.
And I'm Jack Hill. Thanks for joining us this morning.
So how was your week, Jack?
It was good. I haven't done much, just trying to do my work and some revision in uni. What about you?
I'm the same really, but you've been quite productive. You said you've gone to the gym a couple of times this week.
I've been trying to squeeze it in on the mornings and trying to go before my lectures start because it takes up so much of your time if you do it like in the day and you've got all your coursework to do, your revision. But today I was too tired this morning before the show, so
you've got a lot more dedication than me.
It's my rest day today. Yeah.
So let's bring you up to date with the news headlines.
The government has released details for its new postgraduate loan scheme, which will allow students starting their course in 2016 access up to £10,000. Repayments will be similar to the undergraduate student loan scheme, where students will not start repaying their loan until they earn a salary of £21,000 a year.
The postgraduate loan scheme will be available to all postgraduate students studying a research or taught master's course, but not available to everyone. The loans is only available to those who live in England, but there will be no restriction on the chosen master's subject.
Tuesday last week saw an intervention by LUSU on a social created by Lonsdale's JCR. The event was themed as Cowboys and Indians, which was seen by LUSU to be culturally appropriated. Therefore, Lonsdale JCR were asked to change the theme of the event to Wild West.
Mab Safaldin, CCO for Ethnic Minorities, said it was offensive because it's throwing a party to almost glorify the people that massacred, raped, wiped out civilizations and stole their land.
We asked Lonsdale JCR for a comment, however they are yet to reply. Lonsdale JCR did, however, rebrand the social to a Wild West themed event.
A new campaign will be soon launched on campus called I Won't Stand For It. It's a campaign, overarching umbrella campaign, challenging discrimination and sexual harassment in Lancaster.
In a quote from Anna Lee, who we'll be shortly talking to do this we need everyone to help. We need to say I won't stand for it and actively make the space around you, whether that be your club, society, college or department, free from discrimination and sexual harassment in any form.
Anna also said this will have affected your family or friends and maybe even yourself. So let's stand together and change this. We are keen to get your society or club involved and make it clear to the rest of campus that your group won't stand for it.
Also, you could set up your own campaign on a specific issue or encourage people to write a blog or personal story about how they have been affected by discrimination and stood up to it. LUSU is here to support whatever you want to do, and we have resources to make that happen. If you want to get involved, whether that be volunteering or writing a blog, please contact us at iwon'tstandforit@lusu.co.uk or iwsfi@lusu.co.uk.
The pledge they are hoping for people to sign is, I pledge not to tolerate discrimination or sexual harassment. I will actively challenge rape culture and bigotry whenever I see or hear it. I won't stand for it. To sign the pledge, simply tweet or Instagram a picture of you on the hashtag I Won't Stand For It or IWSFI or pop over to our website.
The charity showcase by the Ballroom Society is being held next Friday. Now I'm sure that you'll all be watching the Strictly Cha-Cha chat shows in the run-up to the event, but we have a small glimpse of what is installed for you. Here you go.
Rehearsals are going well.
Rehearsals are going great, yes. Yeah. It's really good. Very enjoyable.
The hardest bit up until now, we tried some lifts today, and it went well.
Yeah, we
I
did
only
it quite
dropped it
quickly.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then kind of broke my neck, but
a little bit.
that was okay. Yeah, but other than that, steps, got them down.
Steps, oh yes, we can do brush taps.
Arms are not great.
Head we're working on.
We're working on the head.
Extremities in general.
But feet are okay.
Yeah,
Feet are okay.
easy. What's been easy?
The easiest bit has been getting along with each other. Oh.
How do you feel about the performance?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
gonna
really
be good.
excited about the
It's gonna be
performance.
good.
Yeah. It's going to be dramatic. That's the word
That's
I'm
a
going to
good
use.
word.
Yeah.
That's a very good
It's
word.
going to be dramatic.
Oh, she's ace. She's ace as a learner. The problem is I just don't prepare enough for lessons for our learning training sessions, and then we're like done in 10 minutes, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, what should we do now? I'll invent something.
Yeah.
So no,
That's okay. We're doing it together. It's a what's the word? We do it together.
I don't know. It's one of those things.
Collaboration. It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's a collaboration piece. It's contemporary.
Very much so.
It's modern.
We're contemplating about having shoes or not at the moment.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. We don't know about shoes. But whoever knows about shoes? It's a bigger world question. God, I hate being like The best part is, what's the best part about this? Come on, we should know this.
I don't know. It's all amazing. That's the problem. We hate it all.
The best part is going to be, I really enjoyed learning to dance. I actually might join the Ballroom Society, you know.
Please do. We've got flyers. We've got flyers from Precious Fair. You can have one of those and then you can join.
Okay.
Um,
So the best part is learning to dance. Kind of, you already know how to dance. I've enjoyed learning to dance.
yeah. Well, I'm always learning.
The best part is learning in life.
The best part is learning in life. No, the best part, I always look forward to coming to practice,
Yeah.
to training sessions. It's good.
We have fun.
End of the day, lift Sophie up a bit, drop her a few times.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's okay. We have a good time, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. Have you never been on
We're
telly?
now joined by Anna Lee, Lucy, Vice President of Welfare and Community.
Welcome, Anna. So, can you tell us a bit about this I Won't Stand For It campaign?
So the I Won't Stand For It campaign is an overarching umbrella campaign supporting as like loads of campaigns within it from all the liberation groups tackling discrimination, sexual harassment on campus, and it's like within the student community. That it aims to get as many people signing the pledge and actively challenging that bigotry and sexual harassment when they see it or hear about it, but also trying to get people more aware of what these things are and how small things can build up, and how that people making small off-the-cuff remarks which are that can actually build to become far greater things and become oppression through systems.
Now, in a quote you prepared for us earlier, Anna, you mentioned that the campaign sought to end discrimination in Lancaster. Do you think this is an achievable thing?
Well, obviously it's ambitious, but at the same time, if we're not aiming to end it entirely, then I think our aim is wrong, and I think we should be aiming as high as possible, and that trying to achieve that in every way we can. And whilst saying it's achievable would be a lie today, at the same time, if we're not aiming there, it won't get achieved ever. So I think that achieving that maybe 5, 10, 20 years, and that it's also people becoming more and more aware of different issues and how that we do slowly change what we do.
Yeah.
Also, Lancaster has deemed to be quite a safe city in the northwest and in the UK. So how big of a problem is discrimination and sexual harassment in Lancaster?
I think that there's often a conception that Lancaster is this bubble that's where there's no crime, there's no discrimination. It's this lovely, safe little town off south of the Lancaster city. But in reality, that if you speak to lots of students who do face sexual harassment and the discrimination, it is as everywhere else in the country. It is all over. It's like everywhere, and that this is a problem not just in Lancaster but throughout the entire country, and that stems from, say, media and a whole array of different other things within our culture that perpetuates these things.
Yeah. When did the campaign start, and how many people have been involved in starting it?
So we launched it on Monday,
Right.
so it hasn't been going very long, but it's going to be quite a long campaign, so that we're hoping that it will be still up and running at Roses, so that we haven't launched everything all at once and had this big sort of huge launch at once. We've slowly rolling out lots and lots of things over the coming weeks. that how many people are involved, that the number is quite large. That so it was formed by a large group from the Liberation Committee, which is made up of representatives from every liberation group, and then slowly grew to about 20 to 30 people working on the campaign and preparing it. We've been working on it for a couple of months, building all the campaign resources and things, so that when we do launch every single bit, it is absolutely ready, as the last thing we want to do is have any errors in there which causes misconceptions.
Yeah, I received a cue card in the library the other day. I thought it was really eye-catching, the front of it, it's really colourful.
Yes.
I really liked it.
We're really, really pleased with the design.
Yeah.
Clearly a lot of preparation has gone into this campaign. How long will it run for? Is it going to continuously run till you achieve your goal, basically?
I think we've set the mark of roses being as far as we're looking to, is like of all of our plans that we've been building up to, but at the same time it's going to be something that's needed forever, and I think it's seeing how well it catches on and how many students really buy into it and want to keep it going, as in reality the campaign that lives or dies by how students feel, is like what students think of it, and whether it's something that they really identify with and want to get involved with, which that judging on some social media, it has sort of caught. It's like a lot of students have been quite excited about it and are keen to get involved, and I think that it has potential to last a lot longer than I'll be around here.
Yeah. Has it had a good interaction so far? Has many people got involved with it yet? I know it's only in the early phase, it's Monday.
Yeah, I mean, we've only launched it on Monday, but we've been receiving a few emails from societies, and a couple of colleges are really keen to run their own little bits, and that quite a lot of people, particularly as we're focusing on humanising these issues, there's a lot of people go, that say sexual harassment, whatever, doesn't really matter, but we'll try to humanise the issue to try and make sure that people do really understand that these are actual people who are affected, and that trying to get people to write blogs and that tell their story about how this affected them, so that when they say I won't stand for it, you really, really do mean it.
Yeah.
Could you give examples maybe of the liberation groups that will get involved with the campaign?
So the 4 liberation groups are the LGBTQ+, the Ethnic Minority Committee, the Women's Forum, and the Students with Disabilities Forum. Those are the 4 groups, and that we've been working with all of them to build this campaign and be as intersectional as possible, and making sure that we look at issues that affect people who define into multiple liberation groups.
Yeah. Staying with the idea of like ethnic minorities and stuff, but moving away from the campaign, you might be aware that last week Lonsdale JCR had to rebrand an event, and in a statement made by the CCO of Ethnic Minorities, who said that it almost glorified the people that massacred, raped and wiped civilizations out. Do you think this kind of misses the point of like cultural appropriation, and do you think a lot of cultural groups have been involved in this kind of thing in the past, like the British, the Romans, of like rape, cultural things like that? Do you think it misses the point?
I think that Mab was spot on. That right. I think that Lucy didn't sort of come in and force them to change it. We contacted Lonsdale's president and said, hey, have you thought about this issue? And almost immediately they were terribly apologetic and keen to change their event and adapt it to something that was different from that. I think that within culture we constantly sort of glorify and sort of try and rewrite history in sort of the white curriculum way, that sort of glorifying things like colonialisation and saying, oh, that was a brilliant thing, look at the glorious British Empire, the sun never set on the British Empire. But at the same time, we're not talking about how the British Empire went round killing and massacring hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, and that it's something that's, as a culture, we're not talking about, and how we try and repaint history to look very different. And this then comes down to things like socials like that, which it's just a bit of fun, and the people who had the event are just doing because it is a bit of fun, because that is like they say it's like they hadn't really thought about it from that angle, but those who their families were actually affected by that, where there is like great-grandparents, but land was taken away from them, brutally murdered. It is a huge effect on you, and and the students on campus who were very upset about events like that, and that we should be doing our best to make sure that events like that aren't happening because there's so many different ways to have fun and there's thousands of different event possibilities. So let's just stick with the ones that don't appropriate cultures.
Do you think that just by Lonsdale changing the name of the event to Wild West, do you think it's still going to be, people might still come in the same dress, but just changing the name doesn't really do anything to, you know, what we've talked about?
I think that that people are looking at campaigns around this to try and educate as many people on it. That we're currently looking at a campaign around cultural appropriation, but also the white curriculum, and trying to challenge the university's curriculum and how it often doesn't acknowledge discoveries made in the East that were well before the West discovered them. But sorry, I've forgotten the question.
I was just asking, like, Lonsdale have changed the name.
I think that it's slow progress, and that I think it's that they did is like when this happened. I mean, we're talking about it right now. That small change caused lots of people on campus to be talking about it, and that how these issues are going is like that do come up, and people do talk about them, and slowly more and more people learn.
Yeah.
So obviously the Native American outfits, they're actually quite culturally inaccurate. So how many people do you think could have been offended by this if this event was to still go on and people were to still come in these costumes?
I don't know. I don't know the numbers, but that I know there are a sizable number of students who were deeply upset about just hearing about the event coming up, let alone what people were going to do at said event. So that I think that I think that the number of students shouldn't really matter. That as that if we're offending even just 5 or 6 students due to their cultural heritage, I think that's not okay. And even if, say, a student from that background wasn't here, we should be making sure that it's not offensive to those groups.
Do you not think, I know this could be seen as maybe misleading, but maybe the idea of being oversensitive, obviously like it's still going to go ahead as a Wild West party, people are still going to come in the dress. You know, things like toga parties still happen to do with the Romans and things like that. What do you think on cultural dress? Like, is it being celebrated, or is it more of an issue?
I think we should always be celebrating cultures. Yeah. That when it's a group, it's like, for example, Chinese New Year, where the Chinese Students Association running is like a huge Chinese New Year event. It's celebrating their culture, and people who go to their event will really, really enjoy it, but also experience the culture, an authentic experience of the culture, rather than what's quite often done is that people take a culture and try and exploit it in some way for profit or just for amusement. And that's what we've really got to be, is like challenging and trying to make sure that these events celebrating cultures are led by those people from that culture, so that it is as authentic as it should be, but also that the people from that culture are happy with how it's being run.
So does LUSU have any anti-cultural appropriation movements that they're currently trying to promote?
What do you mean by?
Trying to stop doing these. Are you doing any active things to stop this cultural appropriation?
So it's like naturally talking about it as much as possible, and that that guidelines and things. It's very, very difficult to write guidelines, as you can't just write a tick box of have you done this, this, and this. That it's quite a lot of it is about the ethos and how the event is being set up from its inception, and that we have been speaking about it to a lot of our officers. That we had officer training where that in a plenary I ran, I was talking about it to all the officers in LUSU, but also EWD this week. We were talking about it and trying to discuss how that colleges should be thinking more about what's actually in their events, and are the certain themes actually necessary.
So just raising awareness basically from the very inception of an idea, rather than leaving it too late and then realising that you've actually created an inappropriate event.
Yeah. Exactly, that it's all about talking about it as early as possible, educating as early as possible, because we don't want people to go off and spend absolutely ages trying to prepare an event to have to change it last minute. That's something we never want to happen, and we're trying to make sure that doesn't.
Before we finish off, can I ask you what EWD is?
Sorry, Equality, Welfare and Diversity Council.
Thank you very much. Well, really interesting to speak to you, Anna. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. So before we go, here's a quick look at what's coming up on campus this week.
Tomorrow, County has planned to go down to Hustle for a takeover.
Sunday at 2 p.m. is a tea dance in the Great Hall run by the Ballroom Society and Music Society, where a live band will be playing ballroom and Latin music.
Tickets for the event are £4 and include tea, coffee and cake to raise money for Cancer Research UK.
And that's all ahead of the charity showcase next Friday. Are you going, Anna?
I am. I'm really looking forward to Will being on there.
Can't wait. That's all we've got time for on today's show. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week for more Good Morning Lancaster.